All right. Good evening, afternoon, whatever it is. Hope you all had a wonderful day. We will get started in a seat. All right. So if you want cross-legged, perfectly fine. If you want a little stretch, you can do bottoms of the feet together. And maybe you sit up on a pillow or maybe a thicker blanket, something like that, kind of elevating those hips. It helps to let those knees relax down a little bit, especially if you find that when you sit in that seated position, you're kind of way up here. It's totally fine. It's just kind of, your hips might be tighter. That just might be the way they are, but lifting those hips up kind of helps it a little bit. So your choice, how you want to start. We'll take a few breaths. So relax those shoulders down and back. Sitting up nice and tall, closing down those eyes. And then just breathing in and out through the nose. Nice big breath in through the nose. And out through the nose. Feel yourself sitting a little bit taller on that inhale. And exhale. We still want to keep that nice tall spine, but feel like we're relaxing and grounding into the mat a little bit more. Just continue that breath. Filling those lungs, big expansion through that rib cage. And exhaling that breath out, just nice and slow. As the mind starts to wander, just bring that focus right back to the breath. And just be here a few more moments. Now, if we have the bottoms of the feet together in this butterfly position, go ahead, just cross those legs, reach those arms up nice and tall. Exhale, let's just find that gentle twist over to that right side. So left hand comes across the knee, prop that spine up really tall on that inhale. And exhale, find that deeper twist. But inhale, reach those arms back up. Exhale, twist to that other side. Back to center. Reach those arms up. Finding that side bend over to that right side. Inhale, come back up. And exhale over to that left side. And inhale, bring it back up. Let's just go ahead and lower those hands down. Let's make our way onto hands and knees, tabletop position. So on that inhale, moving through those cat-cows. So inhale, drop that belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone as we look up. Exhale, we'll round that spine, press the shoulder blades away, draw that belly up and in. Exhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the tailbone as we look up. Exhale, round. And inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, round. Good, now let's bring it into a neutral spine. We're gonna slide those hands forward to that puppy pose. So hips are high, arms are reaching out. We're pressing into those palms, pulling those forearms towards each other, softening that head down towards the mat. Now, if those shoulders are super tight, that head may not make it all the way down. That's okay. Really active through those arms. And let's go ahead and lower onto those forearms. Shift it forward to our plank. So squeezing those legs towards each other. And then we'll squeeze the, pull the elbows back, pull the toes forward. A lot of core engagement. And lower those hips down, point the toes. Draw those elbows back as we lift up through that crown of the head. We'll soften those shoulders down, hands come underneath the shoulders. We're gonna press it back into a child's pose, so knees can come a little bit wider. Lift up slightly, we're gonna walk those hands over to that right side, reaching out through that left arm. And let's bring it to center. Let's go over to the left side. Big reach through the right arm. And bring it back to center. Come back onto those hands and knees. Let's just do one round of cat-cow. So inhale, drop that belly. Keep the chest to the table and that cow spine. Exhale, round that spine. Press the shoulder blades away. Belly pulled in. Inhale, neutral. Walking those hands forward into that puppy pose. So really active through those hands. Again, maybe that head makes its way down to the mat. Slide it forward to our plank. Holding it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower those hips down. Point the toes. Draw those elbows back. Lift up through the crown of the head. And soften it down. Again, press it back to that child's pose. And walking the hands over to the right side. Reach that left arm. Hit center. Over to that left side. Reaching out through that right arm. We'll bring it back to center. Then come up to those hands, knees again. Cat-cow one time. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, round. Neutral spine. Hands will slide forward, chest and head soften down. Slide it forward to our plank. Again, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower those hips down. Point the toes. Elbows pull back. Lengthen through the top of the head. And then soften it down. Press it back to that child's pose. We'll just hold it here. So if you want to bring those knees a little bit wider, a little more stretch to those thighs, you can. And then come back up onto hands and knees. Go ahead and step it back to our plank and bring those hips up to the sky. Downward facing dog. Maybe a little pedal through those knees, through the feet, stretching out the calves. Let's find a little bit of stillness here. So we're going to start with the hands. So really spread the fingers out, grip into the fingertips, the palms, the heels of the hands. We want that weight distributed all along the hand, not just in the heels. The forearms are pulling towards each other. Belly is pressing towards the thighs. That low back is nice and flat. Then you can bend the knees, press that tailbone up, and then press those heels down. Then inhale on the toes. Bend the knees, stepping those feet top of the mat. Sliding the hands to the shins. Half lift, nice flat back. And exhale, slide those hands down as we fold. Hold it for a breath. We'll bend to those knees. Flatten out that back. Let's rise up to standing. Reach it up tall. Side stretch over to the right. So right hand just slides down. Left arm reaches up and over. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale it over to that other side. Inhale, bring it back up. Let's draw those elbows down and release the fingers. Open up through that chest. And then slight bend in the knees. Flatten out that back. So keeping it almost like that tabletop spine as we fold. Then one more breath. And then we release those hands down to the mat. Go ahead and step it back to our plank. Lower. Inhale, lift it up. So again, you can come into cobra if that's a little bit too aggressive. Maybe we stay with the rib cage down in that cobra. And then from there, we'll send those hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Now we'll inhale on the toes. Bend those knees, stepping those feet up top of the mat. Inhale the half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Side bend to the right. Inhale it up. Exhale it to the left. Inhale, reach it up. Elbows pull down, interlace the fingers, big opening through that chest. And release those arms up. Hold on. I forgot that part. Interlace the fingers. Now we're going to fold with the fingers interlaced. So just pulling those knuckles back. If you already folded without the fingers interlaced, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. A little bit more length, and then we'll release those hands down. Again, go ahead and step it back to our plank. Lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. And inhale in the toes. Bend those knees, stepping those feet, top of the mat. Half lift. And fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, side stretch to the right. Inhale it back up. Exhale it to the left. Inhale it up. Elbows pull down. Interlace the fingers. Open it up. And fold. Lengthen. And plant the hands. Step it back to plank. Lower. Lift. And exhale. Just bring it back into a child's pose. Just hold for a few breaths. Then come back onto the hands and knees. And let's step it back to our plank. And hold. Now we're going to start to round that upper back. So pressing it up towards the ceiling. Round the mid back. Low back. Lifting those hips up high. Now flatten out that back. Bend into those knees slightly as we press those heels down to the mat. Another breath. And we'll come onto the toes. Bend those knees. Stepping those feet to the top of the mat. Feet a little bit narrower than hip distance apart. Flat back on that inhale. And exhale, forward. Inhale, rise up. And then we'll sink those hips down into that chair. Now, if you were here for the noon class, you kind of know what we're doing. So sit down really low into that chair. Maybe bring those hands to heart center. Kind of sit where you think kind of is your lowest point and hold it there. Maybe sit a little bit lower and a little bit lower. Keep on going down further and further. You might get to a point where if you need a counterbalance, you reach the arms forward, and then we'll lower those hips down to the ground. Might be a controlled fall. Then lifting the legs up, reaching through those arms. If that's a little aggressive, just go ahead and lower those feet down. But still keep that flat back, leaning back so you get more core. And hold here, breathe. We'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and bring the bottoms of the feet together. Knees open up wide, sitting up nice and tall. And then just lean it forward as we fold. And then bring those knees together. Go ahead and roll it on back. Okay, we're going to get some momentum. We're going to plant those feet down. Okay, you can maybe use your hands coming into that squat and then straighten those legs into that forward fold. Then those knees rise on up, reaching the arms up tall, then bring those hands to heart center. We're going to lift that left leg is lifting, core is tight. Big step back into that lunge. So we're going to keep that back heel lifted. Okay, arms are going to reach up over our head, keeping that core nice and tight. Sink into that front knee a little bit more. Relax those shoulders down. Core tight. Keep breathing. Now let's bring those hands to heart center. Find a little twist. Moving that left elbow across that right thigh. Back leg is nice and strong. Look over that right elbow. Now again, if we have to hover that elbow over that thigh, that's okay. Bring it back to center. Lower those hands down. Pause here. Then we'll lower that back knee, straighten that front leg, half splits as we fold, pulling the right toes back. Then we'll rebend into that knee and step that foot, the left foot forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold. Good. Inhale, come to standing. Exhaling those hands to heart center. Weight's gonna be on that left foot. Right knee pulls up to the chest. Finding that balance. Now we'll take that big step back into that lunge. Reaching those arms up. Keep that core tight. Bend into that front knee a little more. Bring those hands to heart center. As we twist, hooking that right elbow across that left thigh. Press into the palms, get a little more twist. And then bring those arms down to the mat in that low lunge. And back knee lowers down, straighten that front leg, half splits. Good, then we bend into that knee. Go and step both feet forward. Flat back on that inhale. And exhale, fold. And now bend into those knees. Let's rise and sink into that chair. So you're gonna maybe bring those hands to heart center. Sink those hips down. Okay, pause it for a little bit. And then sink a little lower. Little lower. Let's go all the way down back to that boat pose, holding it here. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bottoms of the feet come together. Grab onto those ankles. Sit tall. And then fold it forward. Inner thigh stretch. And bring those knees together. Roll it on back. Let's get momentum. If you're not feeling this approach, you can always just kind of roll over onto those knees. Plant the feet and then come into that forward fold. Inhale, we'll rise up. Hands come to heart center as we lift that left leg up. Keep that core tight, strong through that standing leg. Big step back into that lunge. Arms will reach up overhead. Then we'll bring those hands to heart center as we twist, hooking that left elbow across that right thigh. And bring those hands back down to the mat. Lower the knee, straighten that front leg, half splits. And rebend into that knee. Step the feet forward. Half lift on that inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we'll rise. Exhale, those hands to heart center. Right leg lifts. Take that big step back into that lunge. Reaching those arms up. And into that front knee a little more. And bring the hands to heart center as we twist. Hook that right elbow across that left thigh. You're going to come back to center. Lower those hands down to the ground. Into that lunge. And then lower the knee. Straighten that front leg, half splits. And then rebend into that knee. Stepping both feet front to the mat. Half lift. And fold. Maybe grab opposite elbows. Just let that head, the body hang really heavy. And then bend into those knees, releasing those elbows. We're gonna rise up to standing. Reach it up tall. Now, you guys keep face to the front of your mat, but so I'm gonna face you. You're gonna open up with that left foot, okay, or kind of whatever way you need to. We're gonna turn those toes out just slightly. We're gonna do a side lunge into that left knee. So if you can lower those hands down to the mat, you can. Sink those hips down, keep that chest lifted. And we'll stay really low in those hips. Go over to the other side. Bring it back to center. Turn those toes and heels out, flat back, and then fold. And slight bend into those knees. Flatten out that back. Let's rise back up, pivot turn. The right toes out. Bend into that front knee for that warrior 2. Really strong through those fingertips, or through those arms, reaching through those fingers. And keep that front knee bent. Let's reverse it, reaching that right arm up and back. Then they'll tee out the arms. Front knee will stay bent. Interlace the fingers, open that chest. So we're kind of turning towards that front knee, and then we'll fold. Inhale, we'll rise back up. Release those arms, straighten that front leg, and then reverse it. Right arm reaches up and back. And reach out the arms, slight bend in that knee. Reach the hand forward first, then lower the hand down towards the ground as that left arm reaches up. And then inhale, we'll rise back up. Go ahead and step those feet to the top of that. Reaching those arms up and back, hips press forward, and then we'll find that fold. And then into those knees and rise back up. So this time we're going to open up with our right foot. I know I keep switching directions. It's making it a little bit confusing, but just make sure we're doing both sides. We're going to lunge into that right knee to start. Hold it there for a couple breaths. Big stretch to those inner thighs. Stay low. We'll come over to that left side. Bring it to center. Heels in, toes. Switch that. Toes in, heels out. Flatten out that back, and then fold. Gaze between those legs. And then into those knees, flatten out that back. Let's rise up. We're going to pivot, turn the left toes out, bending into that left knee for that warrior two. Now we'll reverse it. So keep the front knee bent. Left arm reaches up and back. Right hand slides down that leg. And reach out those arms. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Open that chest. Turning it towards the left knee, and then fold. And release. Rise back up into that warrior two. Straighten that front leg, flip that palm, reach it up and back. And then reach out the arms. Slight bend in the front knee. Reach it forward. Lower that hand down. Right arm is reaching up. And inhale, we'll rise back up. One step, both feet to the top of the mat. Arms will reach up, pressing those hips forward. Now, last time through this, hands come to heart center, sinking those hips down into that chair. You can sit as low as you can. Okay, we're making our way down towards the ground. We got one more set of core. Sit low, 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 low. Keep those heels down as long as you can. And then we'll make our way into that boat pose. So we'll hold it here. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Again, bottoms of the feet together. Sit tall, and then fold. So 2 more sets. We're going to kind of add on to it. Rise up, knees together, lifting those legs up, reach those arms forward. We're going to add in those twists. So we're going to go 5 each time. So bring your both fingertips down to the ground, but not just the hands. We really want to twist the shoulders too. So we got 5, 5, 4, 4. Take your time with these. 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Good. Bottoms of the feet together. Sit tall and fold. And rise up. Bring the knees together. Last one. Okay, just holding, lifting the legs up, holding it here. We'll go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now keep those legs up. We're going to extend it out so legs are lifted, shoulders, head is lifted. If you can, maybe up here is fine too. Let's go for 5, 4. Keep that low back flat. 3, 2, and 1. Rest the head down, the legs down, and maybe hug those knees into the chest. Little rock from side to side. Now we'll rock forward and back. Promise we're not coming up to our feet. We're just coming to a seat. Swing those legs around and come into that downward facing dog. You're bringing that right knee towards that right wrist. Foot's going to come across. So making our way into our pigeon. Releasing the tension we're holding in those hips. Maybe stay on those hands for a breath. Press that shin down and back. So right shin down and back. Left knee's pulling forward and pressing down. And then we can lower onto those forearms. Resting that head down onto those hands. And keeping that stability in those hips by kind of scissoring through those legs, but also trying to find that little bit of relaxation and release through those hips. And slowly come back to those hands. And step it back, downward facing dog. Now we'll bring that right knee towards that right wrist. Foot comes across. Lower that right knee down, slide that leg back a little bit more. So we'll press into that left shin and pull back. Right knee presses down and pulls forward. And then when you're ready, make your way onto those forearms, resting that head down. And then slowly come back onto those hands. Step it back to our down dog. And then come onto your backs. Hugging those knees in. Maybe giving it a little rock. And we'll keep that right knee hugged in. The left leg will extend out long. And then with that left hand, guide that knee across. Right arm reaches out. Take that big breath in. And exhale, soften. Find a little more twist. And then bring it back up. Switching sides, hug that left knee in. Right leg reaches out long. And then twist that knee across as that left arm reaches out. And then we'll bring it back to center. Hug both knees into your chest. Breathe those knees kind of out towards the shoulders. We're going to go into that half happy baby. So tailbone grounds down. You grab onto those feet. And then maybe bring those knees, set 90-degree bend so bottoms of the feet are pointing up towards the ceiling. You can give it a little rock. Sorry about that. Yet we're coming into that happy baby. So knees wide, hips down, extending through those legs. Let's guide the bottoms of the feet together. Let those feet fall down to the ground, knees open up wide. One hand can rest on the stomach, one hand can rest on the chest, closing down those eyes. And breathe. Bring those knees back together. And hugging both knees into the chest, rounding that spine, bringing the forehead to the knees. We'll extend those legs out, reach those arms overhead, full body stretch, fingertips down through those toes. And then we'll bring those arms down by the sides. Palms will face up, shoulder blades will walk together. Let's let yourself completely relax, letting yourself rest here the next couple minutes. Begin to deepen your breath. Just gently begin to wiggle those fingers and your toes. And reaching those arms overhead. Full body stretch from those fingertips down through those toes. And then hug those knees into the chest. Just roll it on over to that right side. Let the right arm support the head. Left arm just falls in front, completely resting on your side. And gently press yourself up into that seat. Eyes remain closed, just sitting tall. Focus on that breath for just a moment. Really big breath in through the nose, fill those lungs. And exhaling out nice and slow. And if that mind wanders, just acknowledge it, bring it right back to that breath. Yanking those eyes open. Thank you all so much for joining me. Have a great evening. We have Power Yoga tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. So hopefully I see you all there. Otherwise, have a great day.